أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Peace be with you and welcome. As we get closer and closer to the end of Ramadan, the Qur'an seems to take us into these deeper, more subtle places in our hearts. Today, I wanted to reflect with you on Juz៍ 25, a section that gently, but very firmly, challenges one of our most basic human needs, the need to be absolutely certain about everything. And that idea right there is really at the heart of our reflection. This Juz៍is an invitation, really. It's a journey away from the illusion that things are permanent, away from that rigid kind of certainty that can so easily lead to arrogance. And it's a journey towards something much deeper, a state of real awareness and true humility. It's a path for the heart. You see, the Qur'an doesn't just give us a list of facts. It actually guides us along a path. And the chapters, the surahs in this particular section, well, they create a very specific spiritual journey, one that's designed to wake up both our minds and our souls from that sleep of just not paying attention. And this slide really lays out that journey for us beautifully. It all starts with observation, just really looking at the signs in the world and inside ourselves. That looking leads us to reflection, where we start to understand the meaning behind it all. And once you start reflecting, you gain an awareness of just how temporary and illusory this world can be. That awareness naturally cultivates humility, which opens the heart to guidance. And all of this entire path, grounds us in a deep sense of accountability to God. So let's walk through this together. So our journey begins where the Qur'an often begins, with the outer world, the manifest signs, what we call the zahir, that Allah has placed all around us. The Qur'an is always pushing us not just to see with our eyes, but to truly observe with the eye of the heart. So we start with Surat Fussilat, which reminds us that truth isn't just trapped in a book. It's written into the very fabric of creation, and it's etched right into our own souls. It's this universal testimony, just waiting for anyone who's willing to look. What's so amazing about this verse is just how vast it is. The signs are in the horizons, they're external, they're universal, they're objective, but they're also within themselves. They're intimate, internal, and so personal. It's saying truth is right here. It's everywhere, for anyone with a heart that's open to seeing it. After this, Surat az-Zukhruf comes in and just shatters a huge illusion, one that is so powerful in our world today. It directly challenges this idea that worldly success, wealth, power, status, is somehow a sign that you're on the right path. Just think of Pharaoh, who proudly said, "Don't I own the kingdom of Egypt? Don't I have these rivers flowing beneath me?" His entire sense of certainty was built on materialism. And this is such a critical reminder for us. History is just littered with the ruins of huge civilizations that had all the wealth and power you could imagine, but they crumbled from the inside. Why? Well, because, just like Pharaoh, they lost their way. They lost their moral compass. Their material certainty became a veil, and it blinded them to the emptiness inside. And you see this theme of consequences continue in the next surahs, Ad-Dukhan and Al-Jathiyah. They talk about societies that became so confident in their own power that they just ignored all the divine warnings. Surah Ad-Dukhan even describes a clear smoke coming down as a painful punishment. They thought they were invincible. But when the time came for accountability, when they were faced with the ultimate truth, all that self-assured certainty just dissolved. So after observing all these outer signs and learning these lessons, the Qur'an turns us inward. It takes us to the batin, the inner path. And it shows us that the real fruit of all that observation isn't arrogance about what we know, but this deep, profound humility before the vastness of what we don't know. Look, we all want certainty. It's a natural human thing. But when that search for certainty hardens into intellectual arrogance, it becomes a wall. It literally closes the heart. Real spiritual clarity, it seems, comes from what we could call intellectual humility, the simple recognition that our understanding is a journey, it's not a destination, and that the heart has to stay soft and ready to receive guidance. Now, this slide just lays out the two different paths so clearly. Arrogance, as you can see, it isolates you. It puts up walls and cuts you off from learning and from other people. But humility does the exact opposite. Surah Al-Shura really emphasizes this with the whole principle of consultation. Humility builds trust, it opens the heart to what others have to say. It's the quiet strength of knowing your own limits. Okay, so what does all of this ancient wisdom mean for us? Right here, right now. How does this message speak to our modern world, which is so often defined by the exact opposite of humility? In a world that just loves loud opinions and unshakable confidence, the Qur'an offers this really powerful counter-narrative. It's telling us that true strength isn't about pretending you have all the answers. In an age where we're drowning in information and endless arguments, maybe the greatest wisdom is having the strength to just pause, to reflect, and to humbly say, you know what, I don't know. This slide here really holds up a mirror to our own hearts. So maybe let's just take a quiet moment with these questions. What certainties am I clinging to so tightly? Is the way I measure success really aligned with my spiritual goals? Am I really paying attention to the signs all around me? And maybe the toughest one, am I willing to admit when I just don't know? And really, this is the core takeaway of the whole thing. Any foundation that we build on the arrogance of false certainty is fragile. It's guaranteed to crumble eventually. The only foundation that truly lasts is one built on humility, because humility is what keeps the door open to reality, to growth, and to the endless wisdom that's woven into the universe. So we end with this question. It's not really about what we think we already know. It's all about our readiness to keep learning. It's a question that invites us not to a single answer, but to a state of being, a lifelong state of being an open-hearted seeker. The beauty of this message is that it frees us. It frees us from the pressure of having to know everything. It just invites us to be students of life, to be forever in awe of the signs of God. And so we ask Allah to grant us the gift of humility, to soften our hearts, and to open our eyes to the truths He has placed within us and all around us. And on that very note of humility, we ask for your understanding and for God's forgiveness for any errors or mispronunciations you might have heard in this presentation. May we all be guided to what is correct. Wassalamu alaikum.